Hello everyone, warm welcome. It's Friday morning and we are going to decode the Economic Times newspaper. Before I begin doing that, a little bit about me. So I'm Priyanka Bhatia from Women on Wealth, and at Women on Wealth we believe in women taking charge of their finances. We believe that finance is a system, anybody can learn it. It's not a gender role. Anybody can take it on and can make it to their financial goals. So, in order to help women learn about their finances, we decode the Economic Times newspaper. And before I move forward, our people are joining. So, Prachi has acknowledged her presence. Hey, Prachi, good morning. Welcome. Everybody else who's around, do make sure you share that you're here so that we know that you're committed to your financial growth. Only when you share would we know. So let's begin, guys. Today's Economic Times looks like this. The beauty is here. And today, the first article, the first story that I'm going to talk about from the newspapers is around the demand which is getting created in small towns. So let me begin with that. It is right on page number 2 of the Economic Times newspaper. And it's saying how small towns have been contributing to the demand. Okay, there is higher sales which is being driven from the small towns. That's being talked about. One of the things which is being talked about is that how categories like FMCG, electronics, e-commerce. So these are the three categories which are being talked about where the rural and the small town demand has gone to a record high. It's gone up by 3 to 6% in the small towns, and rural India is basically looked at as a key driver for growth in our country. So if you look at the macro situation, so when we use the word macro, we're talking about the bigger situation. And if we look at the bigger situation, then rural demand is going to move the economy up. Already there are huge sales contributions which are happening from the rural India, and why that's happening. So it's being analyzed that reverse migration has helped. What is reverse migration? People going back to their small towns from the bigger cities. So like we all know that now, because of the online and work from home opportunities, a lot of people, even I know, they've gone back to their hometowns, smaller towns. So the reverse migration has helped the sale, and this reverse migration has happened in mid-year. Well, we all know how coronavirus crisis hit us in March, and then the movement happened. And there is general good performance of agriculture, and that has led to the rise. So good agriculture produce, reverse migration contributing to the demand, the rural demand, sales going up. Okay. Hi Hira, good morning everyone. Please start acknowledging that you are here. Let me know that you're listening and getting contributed to. You could also choose to make notes, because we relate to ourselves as the money school for women. So like in schools you make notes, do make sure you're doing that for your own financial growth. And before that, acknowledge your presence here. Hey Preeti, good morning. Okay, so we have Preeti, Hira and Prachi who have acknowledged their presence. So there is, okay, Richa, good morning. Soumya. Yeah, so I'm going to just acknowledge where this data is coming from, Soumya. Karishma, hi, good morning. Good to see you after so long. I'm glad you joined back your community. Shilpi, hey, good morning. Neelu, good morning. Awesome. My people are coming back on track with their finances, and that's the key. So there is this report as per Kantar, which is, as per Kantar, it is saying that rural India's contribution has shot up by 300 basis points. So 100 basis points is 1%, guys. So 300 basis points, rural India contribution has shot up 3% in overall grocery sales. So the grocery sales have gone up 3%. Unpackaged segment has gone up 52%. So they are saying that out of the 3%, 52% is coming for unpackaged segment. And Nielsen data shows share of rural FMCG sales in the category has improved sequentially. Packaged goods and hygiene FMCG products are driving faster growth in the rural markets. So there is a lot of increase in sales of packaged goods. And well, there is another report exactly on the last page of Economic Times today, which is saying that 9 out of 10 Indians are snacking more than ever before. So which means FMCG and especially the packaged food is really on its way high. So I'm also connecting with this. So according to this new study, as many as 88% Indians who participated in this survey by Mondelez International and the Harris Poll said that they are snacking more than ever before, with millennials preferring snacks over meals. So frequent snacks, and this drives in comfort. We all know, we all love comfort food. So it brings in comfort. 2/3 of Indians likely to munch during the pandemic and post the pandemic too. And this is a result of the loneliness that people are feeling, and it's a venue to just connect. So that's what it is saying. It's saying per person snacking is still lower than the global markets in our country. Yet Indians are moving ahead and snacking far more than ever before, and small snacks throughout the day instead of the large meals is the new normal in this pandemic. And it's also kind of looked at, okay, that analyze that it's going to be so. And packaged salty snacks and biscuits are over 65,000 crore market now, two of the largest categories in the FMCG segment, guys. So packaged salty snacks and biscuits. So that's what it is talking about. I must say how I was decoding this information. I was reading through all this small town demand and increase in the number of snacks people are having, and I saw what a big business opportunity it is as far as the health sector is concerned. I mean, everybody, one of the lessons that coronavirus crisis, from the coronavirus crisis, is that we all need to be taking care of our health. I mean, any ad you see, 90% of the advertisements which come today, at least on TV, which I see, are mostly talking about boosting people's immunity. So health is becoming a big concern. It has always been a big concern, well, and it is further becoming an important concern for many, many more people. I mean, I started on my nutrition program while the coronavirus crisis was there. So, one of the big opportunities in the world of business that show up for me is the area of health. Any of you who has any business ideas that you want to kind of work towards, especially in the area of health, just say me or not me. Type in, guys. Okay, for Richa, staying home means snacking more. Got that, Richa. Vinita, hey. Consumption of snacks has gone up for Soumya as well. Got that, Soumya. Ridhima, good morning. So guys, start typing. Any of you have any ideas around building a business in the area of health? Seems to be one big sector coming up. It's been, I mean, FMCG has been a big sector that we're talking about, and how the consumption is going up, sales are going up. But health seems to be really the next thing, and if you want to start up, then that's a good area. Okay, you've been making more snacks. Got that, Neelu? Is that for family consumption or selling? Awesome. I'm glad we're also cooking that much. So anybody in the area of health, any idea, any business idea that you guys have? Okay. Soumya, you've worked on your health, your own health after your father passed on. Not as a business, but yeah, you've been kind of working on your own health. Got that. Neelu, for the family, you're making it. Preeti, mental health issues are increasing. Oh, yes. Like never before. Right? So, yeah, this is another very big area to kind of jump into. Absolutely. I so agree with you, Preeti. That's the key. And guys, Preeti and us at Women on Wealth, we're together kind of brainstorming on how Women on Wealth could be brought in the Hindi language for the bigger audience which doesn't understand English. So yeah, I truly acknowledge Preeti for that too here. Okay, Richa, always thought of it but unsure how to go about it, probably don't even have the right knowledge. Okay, Richa, got it. If you have at least thought about it, that's the starting point. And yes, if you want to learn, there is the business launch system that Women on Wealth has that can help you launch that system. I mean, launch that business, right? I mean, you use the system to launch it. So, well, this is how I was thinking when I was reading through and going through these 2 articles, guys. Let me go to the third one. Yes, we all are lovely people, Preeti, and I, and everybody, you too, Richa, and everybody here. We all are unique, and like, look at it. We are 1 in 3 Indian women who take charge of their finances. So we are that 33%, and that's just absolutely so unique about us. So amazing about us. So yeah. Okay, I am looking at the next article. So guys, a few weeks or a few months ago, maybe 1 or 2 months ago, I talked about how financial portfolio investors had risen to a maximum limit in the HDFC Bank shares, and they were given a red flag. So now same thing has happened with the IndusInd Bank. So foreign portfolio investors are overseas investors, and there is a limit which has been set that okay, this is how much they can invest in a particular Indian stock. And in HDFC Bank, it hit the max, and now it is hitting the max in the IndusInd Bank. So this informs us how overseas investors are so bullish about our banks and the banking system and finance. So again, kind of gives a lot of confidence to investors who've been researching about stocks. And if you are in our circle of stock investing, then we've been talking about the finance sector and the banking sector. An entire team in an inner circle of women stock investors, they studied the banking and finance sector, and there are so many companies that they have identified, and there are many videos that you all are like looking at in the resource library of the inner circle. So yeah, so that's what that's the confidence that's coming from such articles. So it's saying that overseas investors could soon be barred from buying fresh shares of IndusInd Bank. Why? Because the private lender heads closer to the foreign investment limit. As on Friday, foreign portfolio investors held 73.6% in the bank, which is 0.4%, just 0.4% below the maximum permissible foreign investment limit. So there is a maximum foreign permissible limit, and overseas investments are just 0.4% away, which is a big task. So this means that investors can buy up to 34 lakh shares only now from the local investors, which are worth 310 crores only. According to the Reserve Bank of India rules, foreign investors cannot own more than 74% in the Indian banks. Look at how much the banking and the finance sector is bullish. The same thing happened with HDFC Bank, and it's being now repeated in the IndusInd Bank. So if you know how to research stocks, if you've learned the methodology to pick good quality stocks, you could choose great quality companies which can actually help you multiply your money, create wealth, and build that passive source of income. Today, since we're talking about the lessons from the coronavirus crisis, one of the lessons also is to generate alternate sources of income. And guys, that's possible with stock investing, but only with study. Because if you kind of fall for the tips, then trust you me, there is no limit to the kind of money that can be lost. So yeah, this is an absolute positive. Absolutely. Foreign portfolio investors, they are far bigger, Preeti. Far bigger, and they are kind of investing in many, many thousands of crores. So that's the kind of limit which is set for them. And the bank was put on a red flag list by depositories on November 4th. And since then, FPI stake, so overseas investment stake, has gone up by 2.5%. IndusInd is the other lender apart from the HDFC Bank. So the moment, I started reading the first few lines of this, I could connect with that we had decoded the same thing about HDFC Bank. So the same thing is being written here. 238 foreign funds have exposure to Indian IndusInd Bank shares. Look at it, guys. 238 foreign funds. That's a huge number, which have IndusInd Bank as their shares. And yesterday, I did decode in the My Investment Mastery series, I did talk about the equity mutual funds. So, and since November, since all this buying has been happening, because even after the red flag, it was red flagged, yet the overseas investments have gone up by over 2.5%. And look at, inconsistent to that, the shares of IndusInd Bank have gained 56%, outperforming the 24% rally in the Bank Nifty index. So while the Bank Nifty, which is, a group of all the banking stocks put together, and they have only rallied up 24%, while IndusInd Bank stocks have kind of beaten the Nifty banking index, Nifty Bank index, and it has rallied up by 56%. And we all know, if you've studied stock investing with us, then we've been constantly talking about in our inner circle how foreign investments, drive the stock market up. So this is a huge plus. If you know how to study the market, it is good time. You will see your portfolio going up, but you got to be really smart that you're not choosing the wrong investments. You will only choose the wrong investments when you don't know how to research, when you don't know how to study. And if you don't know how to research, guys, do not invest in the stock market, in mutual funds, or any other investments, because education is the only way forward. So that's how I would say from my experience of the last 15 years in the market. Okay. Yes, Richa, you don't know, and I highly recommend that you educate yourself. Yeah. Soumya, if you may ask, the economy is in the recession. Why is Nifty doing so well? Well, great question. in the NDTV 24/7 news channel, when we came, the same story was being discussed. The economy is going down, yet the Nifty has been soaring high. And well, this is an emotional market. We never said that this market is ever rational. So don't even expect that this market will go according to what's happening in the economy, or it will go as per how the companies are performing. This is an emotional market. It heard that the vaccine is just a few weeks ago and it shot up like crazy on the hopes that coronavirus crisis will be dealt with really sooner than later now. So yeah, there are many things that move this market. The global markets were performing well, and the Indian stock markets are now kind of copying what's happening in the global market. So all of that is happening. One thing you definitely need to know and always remember, that this is an emotional market. However, the emotions get taken care of when you are a long-term investor and you focus on wealth building and being financially free with stock investing. So we've been constantly talking about in the Money Gym program on what our financial plan needs to be. If say retirement is our goal or financial freedom is our goal, so stock investing is one of the ways that we've been talking about to get there. But of course, well-researched stocks only. Yeah. Okay, Najwa, so I trust I've answered your question and that of Soumya. Guys, please start typing. What are you taking away? Well, with all this, talking about the soaring in the stock market, yesterday Nifty had slipped. So yesterday it did come down, and I think a lot of investors, big investors, have booked profits from the huge uptick in the IT sector and probably other sectors. That's what's my study and my decoding is. Sure. Soumya, thank you so much for coming and really pushing for your financial progress. We absolutely value that. Start typing, guys. What are you taking away from today's decoding? What are you learning? Sure, Najwa. What are you guys learning? Sure. Yesterday, I came for the investment mastery and I was sharing everything about equity mutual funds, and then I couldn't see any comments. And then I was like, what's happening here? Later, I discovered when I published the video on our Facebook page that you guys were here and I just couldn't see any comments. So yeah, I think I enjoy this two-way conversation. It's far more engaging. Guys, start typing. What are you getting? What are you taking away? Okay, Preeti is sharing emotions get taken care of in the long time. So stay invested. Got that, Preeti? Yeah, taking care of our emotions. And I loved what you said earlier, taking care of our mental well-being, because how can we be great investors if we don't really take care of our physical, mental, emotional well-being? Hey, Amrita, good to see you. Build a business in health? Absolutely. I think that's the way forward. That's the way forward, Amrita. Good one. Reverse migration leading to higher demand there. Snacking has gone up. Healthcare could be an opportunity. overseas investors buying and close to the breaching limit in, well, that has already happened in HDFC and now happening in IndusInd. Yeah, bullish even in the pandemic. Najuva, depending on the global news, stock market swings. Got that, guys. Thank you so much for sharing. We close the decoding of the Economic Times newspaper here. Very quickly, I'm sharing that I'm starting a small group, and this is a small group where I'll be giving coaching to women who have understood the Money Gym system. So if you want to deepen your understanding of the Money Gym system, you have applied some parts of it and would want to further bring velocity in your implementation of the Money Gym system, then get in touch. The group coaching begins on December 19th. This is a Saturday, 12:30 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. So get in touch, get back to your Money Gym system, bring velocity to your implementation, and I am here ready to serve you. So do make sure you get in touch and get started. Great takeaway is always to study, invest, and stay invested to create wealth. Absolutely, Nilu. On that note, I close today's decoding. See you guys. Take charge, stay safe, and we come back for pushing you to your financial progress. Let's make 50 lakh women financially educated by the year 2030. Together we can do this. Loads of love.